Hey everybody, Thacia here with Legacy of Light in conjunction with One Love Wellness Center here in Menasha, Wisconsin. Coming to you for one of my 365 days from my heart to yours. And today is Wednesday, so I just got done doing my weekly Wednesday love. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to share, but pretty much, you know, feel like reading some of what I shared on there. So it's from The Power of Now and Eckhardt Tolle. And it says, fears seems to have many causes. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being hurt, and so on. But ultimately, all fear is the ego's fear of death, of annihilation. To the ego, death is always just around the corner. In this mind-identified state, fear of death affects every aspect of your life. For example, even such a seemingly trivial and normal thing as the compulsive need to be right in an argument and make the other person wrong. Defending the mental position with which you have identified is due to the fear of death. If you identify with a mental position, then if you are wrong, your mind-based sense of self is seriously threatened with annihilation. So you, as the ego, cannot afford to be wrong. To be wrong is to die. Wars have been fought over this, and countless relationships have been broken. Once you have disidentified from your mind, whether you are right or wrong makes no difference to your sense of self at all. So the forcefully compulsive and deeply unconscious need to be right, which is a form of violence, will no longer be there. You can state clearly and firmly how you feel or what you think, but there will be no aggressiveness or defensiveness about it. Your sense of self is then derived from a deeper and truer place within yourself, not from the mind. And watch out for any kind of defensiveness within yourself, because then comes the question, what are you defending? What you are defending is an illusionary identity, an image in your mind, a fictitious entity. By making this pattern conscious, by witnessing it, you disidentify from it. In the light of your consciousness, the unconscious pattern will then quickly dissolve. This is the end of all arguments and power games, which are so corrosive to relationships. Power over others is a weakness disguised as strength. True power is within, and it's available to you now. So anyone who is identified with their mind and therefore disconnected from their true power, their deeper self-rooted in being, will have the fear as their constant companion. And most people become conscious of it only when it takes one or more of the acute forms. So I talked about love in action to go with this fear. So love is an action. So the best action we can take within love is, as Eckhardt Tolle points out, to name it, to identify this fear, and to give it a name, and to see it right in front of us. So sometimes what we think is something else, and we go in and we ask to see what the root system is of this. We find out what the deepest fear is, and we can pull that out. And then we don't have to continue to deal with all these little surface things, you know, just keep coming up, or we pull the top up, then the weed keeps coming back up because we haven't gotten to the root of the issue. And for me, through some interactions with a person, you know, leading up all the way to today, I realized that you know, in the end, the root of my fear is that I was afraid that I could never be completely loved. To the point of, you know, as I've said before, I've gave permission for everything to be in our existence. So I gave these people with these attitudes, and, you know, that could never fully love me, permission to be there so that I would not fail. You know, it's like the ego's like, oh, yeah, we should, bring that person in because then we wouldn't have failed. And don't worry, like I got you covered. It's that illusion that it keeps bringing to you. An illusion to make you think. And it actually thinks that it's protecting you. Here, bring this person because we know that you can never be fully loved here. So we'll allow them in. To the point of, and you know you found these fears when you have an aching somewhere. And you can literally feel this feeling. And it was there. And I keep, you know, doing the tapping, but it's saying, I see you. I am naming you. And then the next action, once you've recognized it and you've named it, is that you are willing. There's a saying, I will to will thy will. And that is your own will. I am willing. And I will this into my existence. I am willing to take the steps to let go of my attachments to these emotions. So you're saying, this is what I want, and I am willing it, and like you're a willing participant, and willing it as in you are claiming this. So I'm willing to take the steps needed to let go of my attachments to these emotions and situations that I keep bringing up until I realize the root cause of this. I realize that I see it. Now I'm willing. And within that, we always have to remember, as Don Miguel says, don't take anything personally. And to always do your best. That's 2 of the 4 agreements. But don't take personally what they have done to you, what they have said to you, what they have said about you. You know, and with mine, it was like, why does this keep coming up? Why is this still in my existence? Because that is not how I feel. That's not my truth. So why does it keep popping up? Because I thought I had found it before. But I was just pulling the top off and not getting to the root of the issue. So then we don't take it personally. We do our best in these situations and not, you know, cut yourself some slack. And just love yourself through the process. And so once we've done that, then we can thank these situations, and then we can integrate them into our being. And this is ultimately love in action, because love is that action. And we've done the actions, we've done the steps, and we can let it go and say, I see you, I thank you, I love you. And the universe will work out all the details of how that will show up then. Because you've put the universe and this team together, you're creating your reality. So that's everything that is in your reality. And even, you know, this person who was basically like a thorn in my side, because I was like, I don't understand why this keeps going on. Like, I knew that I hurt them. But I was like continually forgiving them and continually trying to repair this relationship that they have no desire, absolutely none, to repair. And they kept showing me that and showing me that. And I kept hanging on to be like, oh, we can fix this, we can do this, because I didn't think that I would ever completely be loved. So I was holding on to this thing because then I wasn't failing, because it aligned with this old belief system that I had. My old attachment to this, like, I'm not lovable enough for someone to completely, truly love me and accept me and build me up, instead of, short bursts of build up, tear down, build up, tear down, And these are the things that I allowed into my existence. I gave them permission. I said, sure, come on in. We can be friends. But that's the thing within fear, is that when you name it, you recognize it and you name it, you can become friends with it and you can love it. I see you. There's this old like African proverb or something that they would say to each other. I see you. And within I see you, it wasn't just with their eyes, it was with their hearts. It was, I see you. I accept you. I love you. And I appreciate you. That was all in the I see you. And it's okay. I see you. And we're good. So as you go about your weeks, months, whatever, start thinking of that when you are thinking about your fears. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I see you. I see you. And it releases this attachment, because you are willing to look at it and see it and be okay with it. It's not like you're like, yes, this is just great. I am, super excited. There's still, the pains, but you're no longer suffering. You can see the pain. You can feel the pain, and you're like, oh, okay. Okay, I see you. And I'm okay. It's not debilitating. I see you. I'm okay. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm okay. You let go of that need for suffering. I am willing to let go of my need for suffering. I'm willing to let go of the belief that I can never be fully loved. I am willing to will thy will, and that's your will. You are willing to allow yourself to blossom into that lotus flower from all that muck and that dirtiness and that grossness and the fears that have been keeping you down. You're like, nope, I'm a lotus flower. Thanks, though, for helping me grow so beautifully. So as always, remember that you are eternally adored and loved. And there's nothing that keeps you separated from that, except for your own illusions that it's been taken away, that connection has ever been severed, that you are ever alone. So thanks. I appreciate you. And I see each and every one of you. Truly, namaste. I see you.